your hosts, Quixote and Lewis. Let's mark out.
Yes, y'all. Welcome to episode 69, baby. 69 on the Mark Wrestling Podcast. I am your boy, Quixote, joined by the other hosts of the show, Lewis and Joel. Fellas, what's going down? What's up?
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
No yeet. No yeet. Yes, no yeet. Today on the Mark Wrestling Podcast, there's a couple things we wanted to talk about. Some things that went down this past week. I want to get into the first thing, probably not in chronological order, but I want to get into the first thing. Your girl Samantha Irvin quits, basically. Just she she's gone. Samantha Irvin put in her 2 weeks, not her 2 hours, and bounced from WWE television for the foreseeable future. And then your girl Lillian Garcia comes back and takes over the reins for whoever. Some people say it's very short term, some people's long term. We don't know. But already on her first announcement, she flubs contendership. She says containership. Fellas, wait.
That shit was funny. I'm not gonna lie.
What are we doing with Lily? But what happened with Samantha? Do you think is just something that you think it's something she always knew she was going to do on a specific day because she wants to move on, do other things? Do you think this is internal stuff? Apparently, WWE was shocked about this. Some people in the inside was like they had no idea. What's your thoughts on Samantha Irvin giving us the peace sign when she was, people was consider her better than Fink? So what's your thoughts?
Man, I gotta say, I found out the news through my wonderful compadres here of the podcast. We got the Marco Polo group chat or whatever. Sir. And that's how I found out. And I said, what? Like, Samantha Irving's leaving? Like, what the? This was so sudden. So my initial thinking was it probably has to do something with her husband and wanting to be closer to him. I can only speculate, right? Because we actually don't know. But she just came out of the blue Monday afternoon, Monday morning, whenever it was, and just posted. She had a social media post and expressing her gratitude and thanking WWE and all the fans and all of that. Very, very odd how sudden it was. There was no indication that she was even teasing leaving the company.
None.
And social media was just left in shock and awe, but they were also left to just open everything to interpretation, right? Is she following Ricochet to AEW? Is she just going to do her own thing? Because she's immensely talented. She's very, very beautiful.
Right.
That
Instagram is crazy.
Right. I mean, yes. Shout out to Samantha Irvin.
Shout out.
She with those hump posts that she does every now and then, she's out here being bad. But in any case, I can only assume that she probably just wants to be closer to her husband. It could be a long-term family decision where they decided, let's start a family, and it would probably be best if we were closer to each other's schedule. Something like that, I just find it very odd. But I will say that I did enjoy Samantha Irving's work. Very few, if any, announcers have ever made me legitimately choke up and tear up during the calling of the announcing of the winner of a match. So I'm referring to WrestleMania 40, where her voice was literally cracked as she was announcing Cody as the winner. And that was like the perfect cherry on top for all of the emotions and the culmination of that of Cody finishing his story. So very few announcers have made me feel that way. So you know, I'll always be in support of Samantha Irvin, like for sure. Like I know some people find her over the top, if
Yeah, a
you
little
will.
annoying, a little
Yeah, a
markish,
little
you know.
annoying. But I think she brought something different.
Yeah.
It's different, you know.
Yeah.
She brought the energy, she brought the passion, and she made you feel like she was genuinely excited to do her job.
Oh yeah.
So she's gonna be missed. For me, she'll be missed.
Yeah.
How about you, Joe? What's your thoughts, man?
Yeah, for sure, man. I agree with everything Lewis said. Like, she definitely had her own way of announcing a very unique style. I think it was cool that she was able to kind of have a character almost, even though
Right.
she wasn't a part of a main part of the show. I do kind of think that they could have done more with her, and maybe that's part of the reason she left. 'Cause I do think they could have made it, even when Ricochet was there still, maybe they could have done some sort of angle with her. They kind of teased it, but they never went like fully all the way. So that might have been, maybe she wanted more. I don't know. But
Yo, they had it when Logan Paul was
Yeah,
beefing
exactly.
with they had it. They
Exactly.
had it. It was right there. And when Logan was saying, "You'll say my name," that was the They dropped the ball on that.
And
Dropped
Ricochet needs a mouthpiece, so
Right.
and she obviously is comfortable with the microphone, so it might have been good. But I don't know, man. I thought first thing I was like, oh, she might be showing up in AEW. But then I thought about it. I'm like, Justin Roberts is the shit. He's way too, like, he's been there since day one. He's like a very integral part of AEW. So I don't see her taking over his job.
Nah.
And then if she was to go to Collision, that's like such a drop off from Monday Night Raw to Collision. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm a huge AEW fan, but that's like you're downgrading yourself, OD. No one's gonna see you on Collision. Like, if you want to be, you want to be seen by the masses, you're not gonna go to Collision. So then I did end up catching a clip of her on I don't know if it was on Instagram. I think it was on Instagram. And she was singing, and like I always heard that she was a great singer, but actually seeing a clip of her singing for the first time, I was like, "Oh shit, she's actually
she's
really
amazing,
talented."
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe that's what she's gonna pursue. She's gonna end up maybe going down that route. I don't know if that's the best industry, especially with all the shit going on right now in the music industry.
Right.
But man, best of luck to her and whatever she ends up doing. Like Lewis said, actually, I think maybe the whole starting a family, settling down, might, traveling week to week. The Monday Night Raw schedule isn't the easiest. The PLEs being international now, you got to go everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, it's not easy. And especially now that Ricochet kind of has a lighter schedule, if you think about it, he only has to really show up on Wednesdays. So maybe they want to be at home together a little more, But at the end of the day, like Lewis said, I wish the best for her. I hope she ends up doing something big.
Yeah, man. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if she ended up on Collision, man. Just for the reasons you just stated. Because there's really no real Collision ring announcer. She's only on the road for that Saturday.
I mean, that's true.
Ricochet could definitely be on. They can book Ricochet where he shows up on Saturdays also.
That's true.
I mean, it ain't that hard to think that she could be. Now, she might not jump right into it.
Yeah.
But she's also not held to the contractual obligations of the 90-day or 60 days. She was considered what I read in an actual employee, not a freelance contractor or whatever. So is it a possibility? Yes. So I'm not even going to say she's not going to end up on Collision, because we'd be lying to ourselves if we didn't think that there's some point she would show up for some sort of special announcements or whatnot, or special ring announcements or whatnot. But like we said, big up to Samantha Irvin. Good luck with everything. But I have to break some people's hearts, and I got to set some people straight, fellas. Samantha Irvin is not the greatest ring announcer of all time. That's one. Two. She's probably not in the top 5 of greatest announcers of all time. She's not in the top 5. And fellas, I'm going to prove my point, because I brought up the announcers: Justin Roberts, Howard Finkel, Tony Chimmel.
Tony Chimmel
Was a damn good announcer. He was damn good.
He was good.
Lillian Garcia and Mike Rome are all better.
I don't know about that.
Rome?
Mike Rome is better, man. I'm
I
sorry.
don't know about those last two. Lillian
think
Garcia.
Mike Rome.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you on that. Mike Rome is better than Samantha Irvin.
I think Mike Rome is better than Samantha Irvin on that level of announcing, of that level of ring announcing. I think he's better. I think he's better. That's just the only reason why we are digging Samantha, right, is because she made herself part of the entire show, which is special. She had, people were looking out for her, people were cheering for her. She was part of the show, not like any ring announcer ever. Maybe since Lillian Garcia, sort of in a little ways, but that's really it. Like what? Nothing. She made some of the announcements special and custom to the wrestler, but was it that special to say that she's top 5 though? I'm sorry.
Nah.
No one's touching Fink. I'm sorry. No one's touching Fink.
Howard Fink was number 1 for me too.
Fink is number 1. Am I wrong? His voice is iconic with every big moment back in the 80s, the 90s, early 2000s. Listen, I'm just saying, Joe, am I wrong? Am I wrong? If I'm overstepping, let me know.
Man, she didn't top 5 is hard because she didn't have that long of a tenure.
Right.
But if you're gonna
right.
But in my opinion, she's better than Mike Rome and she's better than Lillian Garcia. I never liked Lillian Garcia.
Lillian and her. You're saying
it's my hater segment, right?
Oh,
I never liked Lillian Garcia's announcing, bro.
Not even Lillian in her prime.
She's classic and she's part of an era that I love, like the Attitude Era and her and The Rock having their little thing back in the day. But her actual announcing, she always made flubs. This past Monday wasn't a shocker because she always used to make flubs. She always says things with a weird inflection. She'll drop off the word halfway through. I always realized in that, and I just compared to Fink, like you said, Fink. Even Mike Rome, now that you mentioned Mike Rome, I think Mike Rome is more of a classic announcer, almost like the Michael Buffer type announcer.
Exactly.
And he has I would say he's better than Lillian Garcia. So I think Lillian Garcia is not in my top 5. So I'd put her in Samantha Irvin instead of Lillian.
So are we in agreement? Top 3, Fink, Justin Roberts, and Chimmel?
That's a good top 3. I think I would.
Yeah.
That's tough, man. Now you got me thinking who would I put in my top 5? Because I never really gave that shit much thought.
Yeah,
you got to.
You know what I mean? Man. There's such an integral part of the show, especially when you're thinking of the announcing the winners of the big moments, right?
Yes. Whose voice do you remember being oh man, this is big? Fink, of course, is the godfather of all that. But I'm talking 2 and 3. Who do we have in 2 and 3? I think Roberts for sure. I'm sorry. I think Roberts is fantastic.
I think that's fair. Mm-hmm. With Justin Roberts, I think that's fair. I think her tenure was too short for me to be she's top 5. I think the only reason why social media gets hype because of that is because she looks good. She's probably the greatest looking WWE ring announcer that we've ever had. Let's call it what it is, man.
I mean,
I think that's a huge part of the appeal.
That's a huge.
Look, I already put her over talent wise. You know what I'm saying? But the looks that adds to it. You got to put somebody in. If you're putting someone in that role, it always helps if they're attractive, whether it's male or female.
100%.
Because they're on television.
100%.
So,
but no one's really lit up the camera like a Samantha Irvin though. I mean, everything she wore was top notch. She looked great. She just looked good, right? So sometimes you didn't even really pay attention to what she was saying. You just was looking at it in the ring. She was just there. She was just there. You know what I'm saying? You really wasn't paying attention. But in those big moments, yes, her voice was also iconic in lots of moments, especially the one where Cody won the championship finally at WrestleMania 40. So listen, just something to think about. I was commenting on some pages. I was like, yo, I'm sorry, she ain't in the top 5. I had a couple of people hate. I had a couple of people agree. Some people agreed. So I'm just saying, I'm not saying she ain't good, I'm just saying top 5. I could slot her in. Maybe I could slot her in, but her tenure wasn't long enough in a lot of cases, right?
I'll tell you one thing though. If I'm Tony Khan, I'm dropping the bag on her, and I'm bringing her in as Ricochet's manager, not as an announcer. Bring her in as an advocate style. You announce only Ricochet. You make him a big deal. She comes out, gives him the full announcement treatment. You give Ricochet an actual character. You make him feel important again. I think that's a good way to entice her too. You want to be more than a ring announcer? Come here, I'll make you a star. If I'm Tony Khan.
Yo, you probably booked Samantha Irvin into something that, to me,
that's a main event act right there.
Yes, and she's got personality. She's an artist, so she can act, she can sing, she can do all that, and she would kill it if Ricochet had a personal ring announcer / mouthpiece. That'd be dope.
Get me a job, TK.
Yo, I'm telling you, man. I advocate for you, man. If you need a reference, let them know. I'm
streaming Joe.
Streaming damn Joe. God, that's a damn good idea. I love it. But what I did love even better was your boy Jey Uso losing that Intercontinental Championship. No yeet. So fellas, on Raw, I don't think we expected it. I don't even think I didn't expect it. Your boy Braun Breaker, who is the next level star of that company. 2 big pops happened for me while I was watching that match. The face-to-face with Jacob Fatu, which that crowd went crazy.
Hell yeah.
That was dope.
That crowd just gave Triple H a main event at some pay-per-view sometime. That's locked in. That's already locked in. The second is Braun beating Jey Uso. Now I want to take it to our resident Jey Uso yeet hater himself.
Hell yeah.
Streaming Joe, tell me your thoughts. Were you sad at all, or were you like yeet? No yeet. No yeet. What were you doing?
The crazy thing about Jey Uso and Braun Breaker is that they have really good chemistry. Yeah. Like they met twice now, 3 times, I'm not sure. But every time they've actually given each other really good matches. I was a little I am the Jey Uso hater, but I was a little disappointed that they gave Braun Breaker the title back so quick. I feel like I don't want like the default for him just to be Intercontinental Champion. I feel like there was a little more they could have done with him before he got back on that title hunt or whatever. I feel like it was so fast that like did he even have another match since he lost the match?
Braun? I don't think so. No.
So it was weird. Like he just lost. I guess.
You're right.
Like a rematch clause or something.
Yes,
I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like he could have been, gone through the ringer a little bit more before he got that title. But I get that they're trying to rush this bloodline story before War Games, Survivor Series, whatever happens. Like you said, that Jacob Fatu Braun Breaker stare off, man. If that is an Intercontinental Championship match down the road, I will be very happy, man. Jacob Fatu is a star. Can we stop ignoring Jacob Fatu? I'm sorry, Solo, get the fuck out the way. Jacob Fatu is the star, man. He's the star he's the one. Whole story right now.
Yeah, let's give it up for Jacob, man.
Yeah,
Jacob is
This guy hasn't done anything yet. Like when you really think about it, he hasn't had a singles match yet, but everyone is anticipating this guy. And I can't wait for him to get let loose. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm hoping he gets to the point where he is literally either Intercontinental Champion or World Heavyweight Champion on Raw side. Somehow, I don't know, when they flip the rosters around or something, maybe they do the draft or something. But he needs to be on his own quicker than I think they're heading with this whole bloodline thing. I love the bloodline story, but man, this thing is dragging.
You maxed out on it, right?
It is. It is. I agree.
Now, Lewis, we saw Jay lose. You know about the whole. Braun's got the title back, face to face with Jacob. Do you feel the same sentiments as our boy Streaming Joe? Are you ready for a Jacob let loose? Are you proud that Braun got it back? Where you at with it?
I was surprised that, just like Joel, I was surprised that Braun Breaker got the title back so quickly, because I immediately thought, as soon as they even announced the match, oh, Jey Uso retains here and Braun Breaker goes on to another program, and we move on.
Mm-hmm.
That obviously wasn't the case. The new design of the IC title, I was really starting to dig it.
Right.
And now we go back to Braun Breaker. So I was surprised, but I wasn't so disappointed, because it adds more fuel to the Bloodline saga heading into Survivor Series, because they cost him the title. So now that's going to cause even more internal strife within that clan. Braun Breaker regaining the IC title, now that it's been a couple of days and I've had a chance to think about it, it's ultimately good, because now he's a 2-time Intercontinental Champion. He can take that and run with it, even if he's only going to hold it for like another 2 or 3 months. But yeah, he can be a dominant, badass Intercontinental Champion until he's ready to drop it to maybe Jacob Fatu, right? I think Jacob Fatu versus Braun Breaker is inevitable, because those are two men that look like legit badasses. First of all, Jacob Fatu is a legit badass. This guy's done prison time, right? And we know Braun Breaker's lineage. I mean, he's a Steiner.
Yeah.
So that shit writes itself. Jacob Fatu is absolutely a star. He's the breakout star of. I think he's the breakout star that they wanted Solo to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want to take too much away from Solo, because he's in better shape and all of that, whatever. But I think the real star here is Jacob.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's who the people want to just go unhinged. Like he's like the Kraken that needs to be released in this whole thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, Braun versus Jake, that is money. Whenever it happens, I don't know if they're saving it for Mania. They're most likely going to have an interaction at the Royal Rumble.
Now, Lewis, listen, it's okay if you wanna get on Solo a little bit, but I blame the company. I don't blame I don't solely blame Solo on where Solo's at.
I don't blame Solo.
The company damaged your boy big time. Like, he's damaged goods. Take back to the store, missing parts. Like, he's all that. Like, they damaged him so bad that no one really even pays attention to what he's saying in the ring during his promos. They're looking at Jacob's freaking facial expressions more than they're taking in what Solo is saying. And this is all because they waited too long to let Solo run free, get some wins. He barely won. He was losing every match. He wasn't talking. They made him whack. He was a cornball. He was whack. And now we're supposed to believe that he's the leader of this thing when you got a guy like Jacob standing next to him. It's just I don't know. It's not going to work. It's not going to work, and it's already proven not to work. But Jacob is the star, and I'm happy for Braun. I think that Braun championship, I'm not mad that he won it back. I think he holds it, like Joel said, maybe for another few months, loses it to maybe someone big. I don't know. Who knows? But that Jacob Braun joint is going to be bananas. It's going to be crazy. So we'll see. We'll see how all that goes in the coming weeks. But one thing they did push, guys, I don't know what your thoughts are, is that I don't want to call it trash. I'm not gonna do it yet. But that crown jewel championship, H is pushing this hard. He had the people shining the belt, bringing it in as if it was like the crown of the queen whirling in, like it was a big deal. Do we care about this? Like, do we care about this at all? Like, what's your thoughts?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just dozing off.
Exactly.
As soon as I heard Crown Jewel title bell, I don't really like the. It doesn't have so much to do with Saudi Arabia, the nation itself. I just don't. I'm not into the Saudi Arabia PLEs because I feel like they have no implications on long-term storytelling. And yes, they've gotten better about that in the last year and a half, 2 years, where they'll make something big come out of it. But what? Okay, I am not a fan of any type of PLE taking. It's like sandwiched in between.
Right, it's a throwaway almost. Yeah,
I'm trying to put the okay. Crown Jewel should not be occurring just 3 weeks before Survivor Series. Okay, a month before Survivor Series. I feel like Crown Jewel, because right now they don't have anything reserved for December, so they could have just saved Crown Jewel for after Survivor Series. Right? Am I if I'm not mistaken, they don't have a PLE in December because their big thing, their big push is going to be Raw on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
So maybe that was the rationale behind it. But I just feel like this whole Raw versus SmackDown world title bullshit, like it never works, man. Because what is the winner ultimately getting? Other than a nice looking belt.
I mean, it's 50 carats, Lewis. It's 50 It's a 50 carat belt, baby. What you?
Come on, man. Come on. Like you expect me to believe that if I'm Cody Rhodes as the WWE champion and I'm taking on Gunther, the world heavyweight champion, my prize is not his belt. My prize is a customized title. And then I go back to my show. He goes back to his show.
Yeah.
And then we just go about our merry lives. Like that's what I'm gonna be working hard for. Get out of here, man.
I agree, man. I agree.
That shit is whack.
It's interesting because they're not gonna carry that belt. Maybe they'll carry it for like a week after, maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
What's the real point? It's like
what's the purpose of this?
And to have Cody versus Gunther first match be for this. Is such a like weird thing. Like I remember when they had an interaction in the Royal Rumble, and it was like the crowd got hot, and they had a really good like maybe like 5 minutes like of just them two going at it, and it was really good. They had chemistry and everything.
Yeah, shit. It was more than 5 minutes.
Yeah. So I think the match will be good at the end of the day, but like you said, there's nothing really at stake. You know, there's this 50 carat belt, and then for the women's side, like really Nia versus Liv, that's not doing anything.
Trash.
Like,
yeah, I'm sorry, it's not.
It's like throwing a weird wrench in the whole like Rhea Liv story. Like now she has to deal with Nia. It's like the only thing that could be cool is if I don't know how this works, but if Tiffany Stratton somehow cashes in during that match and she wins 2 belts, I don't know if that's possible. But I don't know if that works that way because the belts aren't on the line.
That's
I don't
true.
know.
That's
I don't
true.
know. It's confusing.
Yeah, you see, it would be the real crown jewel. The real crown jewel of it all would be if one of the competitors walked out with both titles. I mean, I would think, right? Because if it's champion versus champion, that's the crown jewel. You know, if I'm Gunther, I want to assert my absolute dominance in WWE. I want to beat that guy on SmackDown and take his belt so that I can have the real crown jewel, like the bragging rights. I don't want to beat you and not win your title and win a customized 50 carat belt. Like I don't.
Yeah, it's.
What does that do for? Yeah, sure. Like in the future, a year from now, I was the inaugural crown jewel winner.
No one's going to talk about it. Yeah, no one's even going to mention this.
Nobody's going to talk about that. That's what I'm saying.
Next year, no one.
That's why I'm not a fan of these Saudi Arabia events because they appease the Saudi Arabia audience more.
But
for me, they should just be untelevised house shows if that's going to be the case.
Now, Lewis, fellas, I will tell you, there is one moment I am very upset about that Saudi got that we did not get here in the States. I don't know if you know where I'm going with this, but HBK made his in-ring return in Saudi Arabia and has never come back to the ring, hasn't graced the states with that. That should have been a moment here. And that, to me, took me out of I don't care about these Saudi shows anymore. I'm like, all right, you gave them that, which was BS. It should have been here. It should have been in front of a crowd in MSG or the Giant Stadium. I don't know where. But HBK coming back after all those years, before he took over NXT, before all that stuff, and you give it to Saudi Arabia at that show, I'm sorry. I lost me.
Listen, K Weezy, I think it was all for the best. Because I don't
well, listen.
I don't think we can really speak finally on that match.
I ain't calling it a 5-star banger. I'm just saying the moment we didn't get the moment.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You know,
That's
we
true.
didn't get the
That's
moment.
true.
We should got the moment. We should have got the moment.
One thing about this that I think is the bigger conversation that we should be having is Cody's title run shit? Like,
Well.
like I feel like they have nothing for this guy.
I'm going to give you a little transition there. We're going to transition right into that. That might be that might take us home.
This is my hater segment again. 2 hater segments in one episode.
Man, you're on a roll. You're conjuring up a lot of heat, my friend.
Well, fellas. We're gonna do a twofer for this one, right? Is Cody's reign garbage? That's one, and 1B is Mercedes Moné just? I wouldn't call it trash, but is it just as more garbage as Cody? Like, what are we doing? So let's go with Cody first. We're gonna punch Cody in the mouth first.
Which
was
garbage
more trash?
smells worse?
Which garbage smells worse? Cody's reign has not been what I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to get some bangers with some people. I thought we were going to get some legendary matches, some great. I'm getting kind of tired of seeing Cody in the ring with a suit on, being Mr. Company Man, talking about stuff I don't care about, and not being entertaining. There's nothing entertaining about Cody right now. Like, I don't know. Where you guys at with it?
I agree, man. Cody, I think on SmackDown spoke about like wanting to be John Cena or something like that. And then I'm like, what are you talking about? You're going behind the curtain. You're doing this weird, I'm trying to be the next John Cena thing. John Cena never said, I'm trying to be the next Hulk Hogan.
Right.
He never said that. And that's what made him John Cena.
Right.
Why are you trying to be John Cena? Be Cody Rhodes. That's what got you here. And I feel like that's what's up. Like, that's what's wrong with this whole situation. And they had this whole long, intricate storyline that he had to finish the story. And they did not write any other pages in that book at all. They wrote they finished the story. Yep. And then they had no idea what they were doing for the next couple of months. And you could tell they were just waiting for Roman to come back.
Yep.
And now Roman's back and he's main eventing the end of every SmackDown. Cody's in the middle. Cody's talking to Gunther. He's inviting Gunther to SmackDown next week. That's his big thing. That's what he did. Yeah. I invite Gunther to SmackDown.
And what's going to happen is Gunther is going to overshadow Cody on his own show.
Exactly.
Because Gunther is 10 times more entertaining than Cody is right now.
Every single feud Cody has had, I wanted the other person to win. AJ Styles, I was like, yeah, give AJ Styles a win. Now Kevin Owens, I'm like, hell yeah, give Kevin Owens a win. Like, Cody is not it right now. I get it. He's super popular, super over with the fans. He's a company man, all that. But give this guy something. Like, he can't just be company man Jones over here. Yeah. Like, that does not make you a babyface. I mean, we grew up on Austin, even CM Punk, like these anti-establishment, The Rock, anti-establishment guy. We don't want a corporate babyface championship. That doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
Like, only if they're corporate Rock.
But he wasn't a babyface. Corporate Rock wasn't a babyface. He was a heel.
Yeah. Lewis, where you at with it, man? You feel Joel's sentiments on this, man? Cody's just blah.
I'm feeling very ambivalent towards Cody. And yeah, I haven't given it much thought. Maybe it's because time has gone by. Time has flew by since WrestleMania 40, right? So I haven't really given it much thought. But I'm not veering on the side of I dislike Cody, but I'm not overly excited about his title reign either.
Oh yeah.
It's just one of those things, you know. But as the both of you were making your points, and I agree with pretty much the majority of what you guys were saying, I'm going back and asking myself the very same question that I had brought up numerous times on the podcast, which is, what were we really expecting Cody's reign as champion to be as a long-term babyface champion? That goes back to the babyface champion, the long-term babyface champion being outdated. That's an outdated thing, man. I don't care how hot you are as a baby. I just don't want to see you hold the title that long anymore. This isn't the Attitude Era. It's not the 90s. It's not the 80s. Hell, it's not even the Ruthless Aggression era where you can get away with that shit.
Right.
In this day and age, like if I'm booking it, Cody finishes the story, he drops the title at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Nice 3 to 4 month reign. Have him go another 3 to 4 months chasing, and then eventually give him the belt back.
Right.
But I think it's overstayed its welcome. And the whole company man, cookie cutter face of WWE thing is just not, it's not, I don't want to say it's not working, because he still is popular, but I think he's starting to alienate a certain segment of the WWE audience, which is us, like the older fans, the older males, and it's
the grizzled young vets.
Yes. And it's becoming, unfortunately, a little reminiscent of the John Cena era. Just saying.
Yeah.
Not quite to that extent, but will we start to see fans?
They're going to turn on him.
Kind of turn on him.
They're going to turn
in terms of crowd reaction.
They're going to turn on him.
I don't know.
My predictions are going to turn on him, Lewis. I listen. Listen. I like Cody as a professional wrestler in general.
Yeah,
he's smart.
Me too.
He's smart. He knows what he's doing. He's
worker.
got all that. Great worker, whatever. Great worker. I don't know. He's not a great worker. That's a
5-star Cody.
He's
3.5-star Cody.
Yeah. He's not a great worker, but he gets it done. He gets the job done. I'm kind of over it, man. We need to. Who does he lose to, though? That's the question. Does he lose to The Rock? You want to make it big? Monday Night Raw, Netflix, Rock Cody. I mean, who does he lose? Like fellas, who think about it? Who does he legit lose to? If it's not
does
Roman?
Does he really drop the title to The Rock though? That would have to make sense.
Has to make sense though. Yeah,
it's got to make sense, because The Rock is not a full-time competitor by any means. Right. If anything, The Rock is only wrestling once a year, right? Maybe twice a year. But I would think Roman, but I don't know. I don't
think
know.
It's Rock. I'm trying to think.
That's what I'm saying. They could swerve us if it made sense, where The Rock just says, "I'm your boss. We're gonna fight for the title," and The Rock is gonna find some way to screw him over, and then The Rock is gonna walk around with 2 belts.
Yeah, they had the weird interaction where they swapped belts.
Yes.
I don't know.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
I think The Rock. I haven't been thinking about who he loses to, and I think it has to be The Rock. Now that you mention it,
yeah.
Because if it can't be Roman again, we can't just go right back to Roman.
Yeah,
and then no one else is really. I mean, I would love it to be KO, but I don't think they would do that.
I'm over KO, bro. Yeah, KO.
Yeah, I'm over. I haven't been into KO for years.
Yeah, I'm not into KO.
And I hate to say that, because I used to love Kevin Owens.
Right.
This is how we get you guys back, though. Come on.
Listen, man, I'm open for it, but KO right now, he's like bland oatmeal right now. Like he's that joint with no oat milk, no sugar, no cinnamon, just a plate of just oatmeal. He's whack right now. I'm sorry. He's trash. He's whack. I don't.
So
no season,
he's like
nothing.
He's like, remember that rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Remember that SNL skit, and I'm sure you've seen clips of it where he's like, the way white people make potato salad or some shit like that. Like, who puts raisins in the potato salad? Like he's like that kind of shit. So he's like the
Yes.
raisins in the potato salad.
1000%. Yeah, I'm sorry, KO. I'm sorry, KO, but yeah, man, you ain't.
That's crazy.
Unless this new thing they're doing with him with beating up Cody in the back on some found footage type of stuff.
That stuff is interesting.
Unless that turns into something, maybe I'm open to it. But right now, KO, the only person I see big enough to beat a guy like Cody at his level, who he's the man, right? Is a Rock. Is a Rock or God, I can't see anybody else. I can't.
Y'all are really selling me on the Rock, like winning the title.
I can't see
because now I can see it. I can see it now. I can totally see it. And I love the fact that even outside of wrestling, like some people have turned on Dwayne over the years, but it's so perfect because it lends itself to his current character. And he and this earlier this year, he's tapped into that. He's leaned into that. He's like, if you can't beat him, join him, right?
Yeah, man. So
why not?
We're gonna put a pin on this because we'll see. Listen, I don't know if I've been excited for a bigger premiere on Netflix than I ever have since Love Is Blind and Cobra Kai. So I don't know so other than those two things, this Raw needs to hit. Like it needs to be WrestleMania-esque. I need some big stuff happening. And I think I'm just saying, it's got to be something like that, fellas. It's got to be. But I want to end this. I want to get some AEW in because I want to end with AEW. And like I said, this is a twofer. And the only thing I took from AEW Dynamite this past week, it was a good show. It was all right, whatever. Crowd was but the only thing I really took from it was the star power of Mercedes Moné and where she is now. Is this it? Is this what we're getting from Mercedes? Is this all we have to look forward to every Wednesday and possible Saturday? Like, do we care about Mercedes? Where are we at, fellas? What do you think?
I like Mercedes. I think in ring, she's been really good. All of her matches so far on AEW have been pretty good. Besides the Britt Baker match was okay, but that's more on Britt Baker, I think, than Mercedes. I don't think this is it. I think her going after the actual world title is when we'll see like where her star power might be. Right now, the TBS title, it's cool. It's not on par with the women's world title. So I don't know. It's interesting because I think the big match would have been Toni Storm and Mercedes. But then Toni Storm lost that belt. So I don't know if we get maybe Toni Storm retaining that or gaining back that championship one day, and then we see Mercedes and Toni Storm, and that could be the big money match right there.
That's a possibility.
But right now, they're not using her to their full advantage at all. Like I think she could be better utilized.
Who's the women's champ in the eight? I'm sitting here while you're
Mariah May.
Yeah. Look at that, man. I listen. I like Mariah May, but I drew a blank because she could be doing a lot more.
That's another one where they wrote the story to the end and then they didn't write after.
Mariah May could be doing more.
Yeah, the storyline leading to the match with Toni Storm was amazing. The turn, hitting her with the shoe, and all that was great. Yeah. And then she won the championship and nothing since. I don't know what's going on with that. But I would say Mercedes is not being utilized to her full potential for sure.
Lewis, do you care about Mercedes? Where we at?
Of course, she's got my last name. Why wouldn't I? No, shit. I like Mercedes. I like her. But I do think that she would benefit from wrestling more on TV.
Yeah.
I do think she needs to have more matches outside of the main pay-per-views. I get that she's this big attraction and all that, but Tony Khan's got to be careful with presenting these big attractions because you also need them to be in the in-ring competition on a weekly basis. Even if it's not going to be every single week, you got to do it consistently enough to where if I'm looking forward to tuning into your product on a Wednesday night, I'm expecting to see certain people wrestle.
Yeah.
Like even with John Moxley, the John Moxley thing is phenomenal, but I would like to see him wrestle.
Yeah.
MJF, I would like to see him wrestle. Mercedes, I would like to see her wrestle.
Yeah.
So that's where I stand with Mercedes on that. I just think she needs to wrestle more frequently on TV.
Yeah,
Same thing with Mariah May, like people like that. Don't just have them come out and cut promos week after week after week. I want to see them go at it. I want to see them get physical. So, but other than that, I like Mercedes. I don't think I'm at the point where I'm like,
I'm not there yet either. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, because some people are I think they're trying to find, and I'm talking about people on social media, but they try to find any little thing to pinpoint back on people like Mercedes, like, oh, she's not a draw because Dynamite has only done 600,000 viewers and they're not selling out arenas. Mercedes wasn't that kind of draw to begin with, to be filling butts and seats. Like, she was never that in WWE. What she had was the machine, and she had a great supporting cast around her or behind her. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I don't think it's fair to just put her in that category of, oh, she's not a draw. I mean, name me one person who's going to come into AEW and single-handedly change everything in terms of TV viewership, pay-per-view buy rates, and attendance figures.
The Rock.
I know. I mean, and I'm not trying to be funny, but like, that's the first person who I thought of. Dwayne.
People maybe. Like
that's what I'm saying. But who else? Roman. Like Mercedes was never that person.
Yeah.
Will Ospreay was never that person. First of all, Will Ospreay's never wrestled for a major North American promotion. Kazuchika Okada, he was never that person. So, what are the fans really digging at here? Yeah. When they say things like Mercedes is not a draw.
Good point.
Okay, well,
there's only like 5 draws in wrestling right now.
Yeah, legit
business.
Yeah.
I think if that, what I'm saying?
I do agree with you, Lewis. Like the roster, AEW's roster is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
But it's not being used to like its full potential at all. Like,
no, it's not.
There's so many good wrestlers that aren't on weekly TV. Like even Konosuke Takeshita just won the international title.
Where's your
Hasn't
boy?
Had a match since he won that title. They showed footage of him in Maple Pro Wrestling. Or whatever
Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling.
Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. They showed him defending the belt there for the first time, and I'm like, you should have had that. Yeah, you should have had that match on Dynamite. Like, I get it. It was him versus Josh Alexander, who's an incredible talent as well from TNA. But have that match on AEW.
Yeah.
Like the first title defense should have been on AEW. And I get
would think.
Yeah. And they're building him versus Ricochet eventually, which will be an incredible match, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But like you said, Mox should be doing something on TV. I get it. He's in this whole storyline where he's attacking people. But we haven't seen
the champion. Where's the belt?
Yeah,
that's another thing too. We haven't even seen him wear the belt, right?
He put it in the duffel bag, and we haven't seen it since. Which is part of the story. I get it, but like, tell us what's going on. And I get it. They're slow burning us, but like they're slow burning us a little too much now.
They're slow burning us on this. For sure. I have no idea where it's going, by the way. So I'm intrigued because I'm digging this new Mox thing, and I'm not. And like you said, guys, I'm not there yet with the like pull the plug on Mercedes kind of thing, because I think Mercedes is a hell of a talent, and I think they need her, even though she is not even featured as much. I think they still need her. Big time. But we did find out something in closing this. We did find out that MJF will not be on TV for a while. In a promo or vignette or whatever that he did, he mentioned to Adam Cole that Adam Cole must win 3 matches to get his hands on him. And during that, he will not I repeat, will not be on TV. So there goes your ratings for the next 3 or 4 weeks down the toilet with MJF announcing that he is not going to be on TV.
Very weird build.
Very weird.
Very weird build. I think I said it last week too. They need to do more to sell me back on Adam Cole. Like,
yeah, your boy is
like Lewis mentioned last week. Adam Cole is an incredible talent.
Right.
You know, a lot of people were calling him the next Shawn Michaels at one point, and all this. I think he still is incredible. I want to see him in the ring to see how he is. Apparently, he had to get a whole new bone in his foot.
A whole new bone
donated. From a dead body, basically.
Yes.
So he's the new dead man walking. But
damn.
But apparently that's crazy. I had no idea that could even happen. And he just from jumping off a damn ramp,
dude. Apparently, his joint just disintegrated. Like just.
So that's crazy. So I'm hoping his in-ring talent isn't suffered from that. But this build is so weird, man. So
strange.
Roddy comes out and says that he wants MJF as well. So then they have this weird thing where MJF is like, whoever wins 3 matches first between you two gets to fight me at Full Gear. And I was like, wait, since when is MJF a booker?
Yeah, right.
Like, since when does he have the power to do this? And I know he's done this before. He's done this trope before.
Yes.
But like, it's a little like, I need a little more like understanding here. Like, why? And they just both agreed to it. Adam Cole was like, cool. And they high-fived each other.
And then they
hugged it.
And
I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Makes no sense. No sense.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on there. Obviously, it's probably going to end up with some shenanigans with Roddy and Adam Cole not getting along at the end of this. But this is the weirdest build to this story that is like never ending. Honestly, I wish they kind of just would have went their separate ways, like, and then met up later down the road. Because right now, especially if MJF's not going to be on TV for the next 3-4 weeks or whatever the hell he said, like, what's the point of even starting a feud if you're not going to be on TV for 3 weeks?
And I agree with you, Joe. Listen, I hate this whole thing of wrestlers not being on TV for such a long time because they're getting paid a bunch of money and they're looked at as the stars and the man and whatever. Like, and I blame one man for this, Roman Reigns. I blame him for this mentality that if you are the man, you could show up whenever you want, make your own schedule. I believe that to an extent. It worked with Roman.
Yeah.
But everybody doing it especially on the AEW side, when you need the star power, I think it's complete trash. If I'm Tony, I'm like, no, I'm giving you 2 weeks tops. We're gonna move this thing along. I'm paying you $5 million. I need you next week. So I think it's whack. I'm sorry. I think it's whack. And apparently Lewis probably thinks it's whack too.
I mean, they're gonna take a hit in ratings next week because I'm anticipating fully that the World Series will go at least 5 games. And Game 5 would be on that Wednesday. Let's go Yankees! I forgot to wear my Yankee World Series hat. The World Series hat. It just came in. It just got delivered, so I have to wear it. But in any case,
yo, you ready, son? You ready?
Oh yeah, Yankees Dodgers, baby.
Lewis, listen, man. The AEW is going to take a hit. And I blame MJF a lot for this. I blame it.
I will say one thing, and we've done a disservice by not mentioning this 2 weeks in a row. Shelton Benjamin is killing it. He is killing it. This new presentation,
I agree,
is everything I've ever wanted for this guy. MVP as the mouthpiece. They're treating him like this huge star, which he is and should be.
Yes.
MVP is calling him like basically like a I guess you would say like a predator almost. Like the way he's attacking these guys, like poor Sammy Guevara. He was bumping his ass off, man. He was bumping his ass off. Leo Rush last week, like, and these are the perfect people to put against him because they're a little smaller. Shelton's not the biggest guy, and in WWE he was kind of small in comparison to the stars when he was there. And now he's so big compared to AEW's roster that he just looks like he's towering over these dudes. And I just want to give them, that's the props I'll give AEW because they are making this guy a star. And like, honestly, I want to see Shelton win the big gold at this point. Like, I want to see him. Imagine Shelton versus like Will Ospreay or versus when Kenny Omega comes back. Oh my God, that's a dream match right there. What?
I'm there.
We got some good matches lined up.
Shelton's been doing his thing, and I'm loving the MVP thing. I'm liking that they're letting him run loose a little bit. I'm liking the subtle like recruitments of people, but you don't know which ones are actually going to join, because they can have a hell of a stable.
Yeah,
like serious stable that WWE just dropped the ball on. They didn't really take them serious. This stable in AEW could be incredible if it is done right. So
for sure.
We'll see, man. We'll see, fellas. I'm staying optimistic about that. And Shelton's been doing his thing.
Yeah. Next week we got Shelton versus Swerve too. That should be amazing. That's
gonna be. Maybe that might get some viewership. Lewis, but speaking of viewership,
it won't get me though.
It won't get. Did you have administrators report this week? Right? No, we're good.
Yeah, we're good, man. The administrators taking a little break from the report, but the administrator will have the report soon enough.
Listen.
If Tony Khan is listening, it's for the best that we're taking.
It's probably for the best. You're absolutely right. It's probably for the best. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on episode 69 of On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Join us next time with another show, another topic, y'all. Peace.
You've been listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, a Scriptly adapted production. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube at On the Mark Wrestling, and email us at ondamarkpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes, sir. Good stuff, fellows. Good stuff.
Yes.
We went a little long, but we had a lot of stuff, more stuff than I thought. Actually, I forgot all about the Shelton joint.
Yeah, man.
Because
I was thinking about it. Like, damn, we didn't bring up Shelton last week.
Yeah. Good look. That was
he's the one thing I'm like, I gotta watch on AEW right now.
Yes,
and he's in phenomenal shape too.
Yeah, man. Shelton's doing his thing, man.
Shit pisses me off. He's 50, man.
What?
He's 50 years old.
Yeah,